So what's up guys, this is Suresh Devrari, a subject matter expert in cybersecurity, and in this video I'm gonna show you that how you can perform any attack outside the network, because a lot of people asking me that how can I perform these attacks on the WAN network, because whatever they can perform in their Kali machine, or they can only perform these attacks on their local network. They can only exploit their computer, and that's not the real world case, obviously. So the problem is to understand the network terminologies like IP address. What is the IP address? IP address is uniquely identify your device on the network or outside the network as well. So we have actually two type of IP address, and let's actually understand what is the reason behind why we cannot perform these attacks on the outside the network WAN network actually. So we have two type of IP address, as you can see. I have actually noted down here in the private IP and public IP address. So what is the private IP address? And private IP start from either 192 or 10 dot. So 192.168.1.135. It can be anything actually. It can be 10 dot, 15 dot, 10.5 dot. It can be like that. So it actually depend on the router, that was the vendor of that router, and according to that actually provide that IP address. And second, we have the public IP address. And if I again talk about the private IP address, whenever we connect to any website, our private IP never goes to that site. Our If we are visiting or browsing google.com, the google.com do not actually recognize me with the private IP address. So which IP address go to the server, which IP address go to the google.com server in this case? So we have the public IP address for that, and it is given by the ISP, as you can see, and it actually stands for Internet Service Provider. So in India, I'm actually using the Airtel services for my ISP, and that's the case of my. So that's the ISP, and maybe you are using some broadband services as a network cellular network. So it is just for the mobile device, or maybe they are providing the broadband services as well. Yeah. So it is my ISP is Airtel network. So it can be anything for your case. And if you want to know that what are your ISP, you can just search on Google my IP, and you will find the link here. So if I click on the google.com, and if I just search my IP, so you can see right now it is showing some numbers and colon numbers. And if you're getting confused, what is this? So this is the IP version 6. And what is that? So in India, actually only the Geo network using the IPv6 network. And if you search my IP on Google, you will find these numbers, and that's the IPv6 version. And you can actually convert this number into the IPv4, and you can get rid of this. But that's not the case. In case if you are using any other network, you probably getting 172 dot something like something. So it can be anything actually. So that's the public IP address, and further it actually divided into two parts. The first one is static IP address and dynamic public IP address. So as you can see with the name, static IP address, that is never gonna be changed. So it is gonna be remain all the time. So static IP public IP address is used by the website, the web servers. So if I go to the terminal and type host google.com, you can see I got the IP address, and as well as I got the IPv6 version of that IPv4, and you can see that's the IP address, and that's the public static IP address. So that's not the dynamic IP address, so it's not gonna be changed. But if you search the same thing, if you just type host space google.com, probably in case of Google you will be getting the different IP address. And now you say that it's keep on changing each time, but the answer is no. Actually, Google has more than one server in the world because they have more traffic to provide the services all around the world. So they have the more servers, so they can provide the best services. They can actually provide the fast services, I can say. So they have the more than one server, so they are having, I think, four server in the world. So according to the traffic, if the server can handle more requests, you get transferred to that server. Or if the server is already full with the limitation and all, so maybe you will be getting the different IP address, and the work is same. These four server actually connected with each other. Okay, that's the case of Google. So if I take any other site like WordPress.com or WordPress.org or anything like that, you're probably not getting a different IP address here each time. So in case of Google, I said they are using more than one server, and obviously they actually need that. So that's not the question actually. So we have the static IP address and dynamic IP address, and whatever we do in the Kali machine. So we for example, we are using the Metasploit in our Kali machine, and we are performing some phishing attack. We are we have our malware, and we want someone else to get infected with that, and we will be getting the reverse shell with our computer, and we have actually hard coded that malware to get the reverse shell back to our computer. But how can I actually perform these attacks on the WAN network? Suppose I want to hack you and you are not in my network. And what I mean by that, actually, you are not connected to the same Wi-Fi that I'm actually connected to. So if you are connected to the same Wi-Fi, so it means that we are in the same network, and probably you are using some other connection or ISP, so we are in the different network. So in that case, how we can actually perform these attacks? So we have to purchase the static IP address first of all. Now it's kind of pain to purchase the static IP for learning purposes. So obviously I know that you are not intentionally want to hack somebody else on also the network or in your friend circle. You can perform these attacks for the learning purpose, obviously. So you have to search the my no IP. So that's the website who provide the static IP address for free. So one IP address is for free. And that's where you can sign up. First of all, obviously you have to sign up. If you do not want to give your credential like email ID, or you want to stay anonymous, so you can uh, just go for tempmail.org website to get the temporary mail services, and you get the mail here. You can use that mail to confirm the sign up page, and after that you can make the account. Then you have to create the domain name. So I'm not gonna go for that, video is gonna be so longer, so I don't want that. So you can create the account. After that you have to give the DNS, like they have the DNS like ddns.net maybe. So you're gonna be giving like my name is Suresh Devradi, so I can give Suresh Devradi .ddns.net, and for that domain you will be getting the static IP address, and that is not gonna be changed. So if you ping that IP address here, if you ping that domain name system DNS for in the terminal, for example, that is Suresh Devrari .ddns.net. So I don't think this is this access. So if I click here, it's saying not found, obviously. But in that case, actually, if you go for sign up and you create some DNS or domain name to create a static IP address, so we'll get the IP address here, and that is the static IP address. So after that you have to purchase that IP address, and in the Metasploit, when you are writing any program, or if you're targeting something, so you have to give that IP address as the our host machine, or sorry so that's a L host actually. So you have to give the that IP address in the L host. So it's a, you know, the attacker machine IP address. So whenever a victim is gonna click on your malware, the request and data is going to be sent to that server, and that's the static IP. So it goes to that server, and you have configured that server in no IP address, and after that no IP address will send that data to your computer. But how your computer is gonna catch the data, because there are no actual route defined by your router. So you have to set up the port forwarding in your router. So just go to the router page, and it actually depend on the different vendor, D-Link, TP-Link, or like other vendor. So you can go for the network setting and find the port forwarding or port triggering, and after that just set up uh, the the port. So just give the private IP address. Now I have to give the private IP address, and how you can find the private IP address? Just by ifconfig. So this is my Mac OS X, don't get confused, but the command is same. You can run the same command on Kali machine as well. So where is my private IP address? Okay, for the time being, this my, yeah, this is my IP address. As I said, it can be 192 or 10 dot. So actually depend on the router. So maybe you will be getting 10 dot something else. So in the Kali machine, you can say ifconfig, the same command, and you will be getting the same IP address, or I mean the different IP address, whether it actually start from 192. So that's the IP address you have to give in the router, and you have to set the port, and after that you have to say that whatever the traffic is going from the noip.com, just forward this packet on this IP address. You have to mention the port as well. So just set some unique port that is not that's the not the case that your computer is using. So this just give some random port like 513, or do not give some default port for SSH or FTP that actually many services uses. So that's how you can actually perform this attack on the WAN network. And I hope you like this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you want to get connected, you can search my name on Google, and you can find the link for Quora or my LinkedIn account. I hope to see you there. You can ask any question in cybersecurity in Quora. I hope to see you there. Thanks a lot. Hope to see you in the next video.